Hello, welcome to another video. Let's talk Nairaland. Now, I have been on Nairaland for 7 years now, which is a long time, really. I mean, if I had a kid when I got into Nairaland, he or she would be 7 and be thinking about wrapping up, or rather, should be in primary 3 or 4 by now, starting to wrap up at basic elementary school at this point in time. So that's like a very, very long time. So I feel I am qualified to speak on this. And this is rather very serious. Nairaland is for sale. No, I don't mean for sale. Yes, somebody did try to buy Nairaland recently, but I don't think Shehu is going to sell it now. Of course not. But Nairaland is still for sale, but just not in the way that you think. I mean, Nairaland is important. It's Nigeria's biggest forum, biggest indigenous forum, owned by a Nigerian. So Facebook and Twitter communities don't count, no matter how big they think they are. And yes, Nairaland has a lot of, duplicates and alternate accounts and all that, but it's still by far Nigeria's largest, forum. And since it's Nigeria's largest forum, for a country with a population of over 200 million people, it's huge. Nairaland carries a lot of weight and a lot of sway. Now, obviously, I am not politically inclined, and I'm not going to talk about whatever it is that has been happening in the politics session, or how Nairaland is now a bed for propaganda and intertribal warfare and whatever it is that's happening over there. That's not necessarily my business. Yes, it is my country, and that's not the scope of this video. I'm not going to go there. What I mostly want to talk about is the phone section. And I think I have been waiting for somebody to make this video, because personally I consume a lot of content, and I want to see stuff like this, stuff that I've been that relates, that's important. Now, this may not necessarily be a Nairaland thing. It could, whatever country you're watching from, because I know I've got a lot of Indians here. Thank you very much for coming. It could also apply in your country too, where there's a big indigenous forum that lots of people frequent, and it's basically for sale. Now, I'm going to explain what I mean by it's for sale. Now, let's start with the phone section. I started writing from Nairaland because before then I had used phones. I thought I was knowledgeable about phones. So it was basically beer parlor gossip, but I did not know Jack. I was going to swear on there just now. I don't want YouTube to demonetize me before I even begin, but I did not know Jack about smartphones. So I started doing research, and by the end of, after close to a year plus, I had to take all of my old knowledge and just bin it completely and started afresh. So when I became really, really active on Nairaland, I saw that there were a lot of half-truths, mistruths, untruths, flat-out lies, flat-out misdirection on a lot of threads in the smartphone section. So I never really started that I was going to own a blog or own a YouTube channel. That wasn't necessarily my plan. I just wanted to correct most of the things I saw there. That's where I got the spur. I had always been a writer. I kept a diary from the end of high school till I got into uni. I was for 4 years or so. I documented basically every day. I had to throw that away at some point, let the past be past. But that was where I got the spur to pick up my pen again and start writing. And you cannot believe the amount of hate that I have gotten over the years, the amount of insults, the amount of bile that I have gotten over the years for daring to actually come out and write some truths to correct the mystery. Now, I am not saying that I am completely without bias. I have my bias. Everybody does. Every human being does. But sometimes there is what is known as the objective truth, because I see people nowadays saying live your fruit. No, there is no two truths. It's either something is true or it's false, for the most part. People do what makes them happy, but that doesn't necessarily make it truth. So I think when people say live your truth and let me live my truth, it's mostly a way of saying that I am not going to change even though I know I am wrong, basically. But I'm digressing now, but basically it is what it is. So I got on Nairaland and I started writing, and I got a lot of hate. And that was when I realized that sometimes these mistruths, half-truths, misdirections were not mistakes. I was totally naive and I thought they were mistakes, and I thought that if I could correct them, it would make life easier. It did not. When I say Nairaland is for sale, it has already been sold to the highest bidder, because if you are very familiar with the phone section, you would know very well that some brands get preferential treatment above other brands. Some brands are pinned to the top of the forum where they get the most visibility. And some certain individuals who actually are not very active in participating in the phone section immediately have their posts moved straight to the front page, which actually in the past you used to want to go to the front page of Nairaland to get like concrete news, but now it's paid adverts. The only person who has been very honest about exposing this was Chatinet. Chatinet put at the he had a post that made it to front page, and he simply put under it sponsored post, which is the bloody truth. Yes, that's what it is. So most of the time when you just see, like, you could have threads in the phone section, very informative, very educative, they never make it to front page ever, but somebody makes a post that there is not a single comment, it's off to the front page immediately. And at some point, I think at some point I had to wonder, why is that? Why do some brands have like preferential treatment over others? Why do some persons who obviously are making posts about devices from those said brands immediately make it all the way to front page, whilst like there are other better posts in the background that like the mods never take a look at it ever? And then that was when I started hearing the whispers that, you know, like it's bigger than the mods actually. That, you know, since Nairaland is very important and like, you know, lots of people come regularly for advice, for smartphone information, for, you know, buying and selling of devices, it is very important that some brands hijacked it in order to like make the market more favorable for themselves. Because well, no, like this one is, it's way bigger than the mods. It's basically the site itself. And initially they were all just, like I said, beer apologists. Like nobody took, I didn't take any like serious, until I came across a post from TikTok from one of Nigeria's like more well-known influencers, talking about how he used to work for one of those brands that were in charge of like brainwashing Nairaland essentially, and how they had a falling out, and then he came out and just put that out on social media. I have evidence. I am not making this up. And at this point in time, you have to be like, so those guys actually knew what they were talking about Nairaland being sold, packaged and sold to a certain brand. Yes, actually it is. It's why, for the most part, you see that people from other brands are, or rather people who, even if you're not from another brand, if you want to say something about like, why is this happening? You're shut down immediately. That's just what it is. Now, as if that is not bad enough that the site is set up, I mean, you could actually like rig a site to favor a certain brand. Quite alright, fine. But people could choose to not engage with those threads that, you know, have been, you know, like held up for like the average site visitor to look at. They could decide to like, you know, I'm going browsing on other threads to see if there's alternate advice or alternate information that I can receive. This is where the marketers come in. And they are vile, they are brutish, they are illiterate, and they are uneducated. And they use multiple alternate accounts, which, by the way, is a violation of Nairaland's rules and regulations, which they never enforce. And then you go into a thread, like, does it make any sense? Does it make any sense that somebody holds up a smartphone with a Snapdragon 660, for example, and another one with a Helio P35, for example, and you'd see like 300 comments? I am not kidding. Okay, I'm exaggerating at this point, more like 30 or so, but they basically just hijack an entire thread and tell you, trying to brainwash people how a Helio P35 device is better than a Snapdragon 660 device, or how a Helio G90T device or a G95 device is better than one using Snapdragon 778, or trying to mislead people with, you know, anecdotal evidence of stuff that never happened, or trying to create threads that are not even factual at all to try and cause commotion, to cause havoc, to like wreck other brands' reputations. And they get away with it because why? It's been packaged, it's been basically packaged, and it's been sold to these people, and they rule the rules. There's actually nothing anybody can do. The worst thing you can do is actually quit the site and walk away. But that's basically letting them win at this point in time. So I am going to be rounding up the video. I want, if you're going to Nairaland to look for advice, smartphone related, you should take every advice you get with a pinch of salt. Odds are that when you enter into a thread and then you see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 all saying, they're all spouting the same rubbish. More often than not, it's probably just one person signing out and signing in with a different account. I think they have farms for these bot-like people to try to like, you know, like to mold public opinion to a certain degree. And they fight with vitriol, they fight with bile, they come at you with everything. Like, obviously, everyone in the smartphone world knows that MediaTek do not have as much, you know, like image processing capability like Snapdragons do, even at the same class. And that's basically common sense at this point. Like, it's not just them. There are other people from other brands too. Like recently, somebody asked a simple question and said that between the Redmi Note 11 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy A30, which one's better? And you just saw these guys coming out, and they were all just screaming like, it's better, A30 is better, A30 is better, A30 is better. And I popped up and I asked a very simple question, like, how is the A30 better? How? Can somebody please tell me how it is better than the Redmi Note 11 Pro? And then I got insults and I got attacked. Like basically transient strategy. I got insults. Can somebody just tell me how it is better? I got insults. Simply. Like these people have bow. So whatever you do, it's why I will always advocate for smartphone education, that people know what they are doing, that people know what they are getting, that people know what they are buying, that people know like the type of advice they're supposed to take and the type of advice that they're not supposed to take. But lots of people put themselves, right? They put themselves out there to be taken advantage of by unscrupulous brands, by unscrupulous marketers, and by a community that actually doesn't give a shit. And just so you know, your favorite site, it's been sold a long time ago. So if you're there, if you're participating, be vigilant, guide yourself, and watch the kind of information that you're taking. My name is Jeffrey. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.